the mist did not just surround the mountain trail, it erased it. Daniel pushed forward, his boots finding purchase on loose shale by memory alone. Every breath pulled in air that tasted of damp stone and ancient, stagnant cold. He checked his compass for the third time in 10 minutes, the needle spinning lazily before settling on a direction that felt wrong. He muttered to himself, "It is just atmospheric pressure, just a trick of the altitude." He had spent his life dismantling legends with data, and he refused to let a bit of fog turn him into a believer in ghost stories. The wind bit at his exposed skin, a sharp, stinging reminder that the mountain was indifferent to his logic. He stopped, leaned his weight against a jagged rock face, and wiped the moisture from his eyes. He needed to find a clear line of sight, a landmark, anything to ground his position. He turned the corner, ready to dismiss the silence. Then, the air shifted. A soft, pale glow bled through the white wall ahead. It was not the harsh glare of a torch or the flicker of a match. It was steady, pulsing, and impossible. Daniel froze, his hand hovering over his pack, as a single luminous lantern drifted into view, suspended in the empty air with no cord, no branch, and no source. Daniel reached out, his fingers brushing the air where the light pulsed. The lantern drifted aside, avoiding his touch with a deliberate, fluid motion. Behind it, another appeared, then a third, stitching a glowing trail into the void. He took a step. The ground beneath his boots felt solid, yet the air around him grew warm, carrying a scent of crushed jasmine and ozone. He followed. The path curved upward, defying the topography he had memorized from his maps. He stopped again, his eyes widening. From the periphery of his vision, movement rippled through the trees, not shadows, but light. Massive, translucent forms drifted through the branches, their bodies glowing like fireflies magnified 100-fold. They moved with an elegant, rhythmic slowness, their radiance painting fleeting, intricate patterns on the ancient rocks. Daniel stood paralyzed. These were not hallucinations born of oxygen deprivation. They were living, breathing light. The skepticism that had anchored his identity for years dissolved. He simply breathed, his pulse syncing with the soft, rhythmic hum of the path beneath his feet. The mountain was no longer a trail to be conquered. It was a threshold. A sudden, sharp flicker of unease cut through the awe. Daniel stopped, his boots grinding against the glowing stone. He turned, intending to retrace his steps to the familiar, rocky ground he had traversed only moments before. He needed the cold, hard reality of the mountain to steady his mind. He looked back, but the path was gone. Where the trail should have been, there was only a swirling, silent void. The mist had coalesced into an impenetrable white wall. He took a step backward, his hand outstretched, searching for the edge of the path. His fingers met nothing but empty, frigid air. He swung his pack around, fumbling for his light, but the beam died the moment it left his hand, swallowed by the darkness. Panic flared in his chest, a tight, suffocating knot. He spun in a circle. Every direction looked the same. The world he knew had been deleted, leaving him stranded in a space that defied every law of physics he had ever trusted. The void held him, but then the silence broke. A deep, resonant hum began to vibrate through the soles of his boots, traveling up his legs and into his chest. It was not a sound heard by the ears. It was a frequency felt in the marrow of his bones. Daniel gripped his own arms, but the sensation was not of pain. It was a rapid, rhythmic pulsing, as if the very atoms of his being were being pulled apart and reassembled. He looked up, his jaw tight. The thick, white wall of mist above him began to tear. It did not drift away. It shredded, revealing a sky ablaze with stars. They were not distant points of light, but swirling, cosmic rivers of violet and gold. A tapestry so vast it made his head spin. He tried to steady himself, but his hands were no longer opaque. A faint, pearlescent shimmer rippled across his skin, catching the starlight with an intensity that burned. He looked down at his palms, They glowed with the same rhythm as the lanterns. His breath hitched, but he did not choke. The weight of his old life, it all fell away. He felt a sharp, stinging heat spread from his core. His eyes widened, reflecting the spinning galaxies. He was becoming part of the light. The resistance in his muscles dissolved. Daniel stopped trying to anchor himself to the ground, allowing the hum to pass through him without friction. His hands, once trembling, now moved with the same deliberate grace as the floating lanterns. He looked at the path ahead, but the trail was gone. It did not matter. The summit was not a peak of rock and ice. It was the stillness within his own chest. He stood under the swirling tapestry of stars, his skin pulsing in perfect synchronization with the cosmic rivers above. The logic that had once defined his world felt like a discarded shell. He breathed in, and the air tasted of ozone and ancient light. He was no longer a man climbing a mountain. He was a vessel for the starlight. He closed his eyes, and when he opened them, the mountain was gone. The void was gone, and only the infinite remained. He had arrived.